Hey, how you doing? This is Chief from Outpoint Boxing, coming to you today with another episode of what I think should happen with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence going forward. I was checking the web tonight, check on a lot of stuff, and to get some perspective on who I think would, you know, win their second fight, or if they should fight again. And I just rewatched the fight. It was very entertaining. I seen some stuff in the on the TV that I didn't see in person. And from the TV, it looked like Errol Spence was outclassed, but in person, it looked way worse. So I would like to say I think Errol Spence should take the rematch. I think he should activate it. I think he should work on his strength and conditioning and come in stronger. That was not the same Spence we've seen, and I think his legs was gone due to drainage, making weight. And I think Crawford looked very strong, and a testament to him. Let's see how he looks at 154. I would like to see the fight again at 154. I think there's no need to see the fight again at 147. I think Crawford is that dominant. If I was Crawford, I wouldn't take a look at Thurman or Boots Ennis. I would let them fight. Let them, have a chess match to see who's the best guy. And if it was a bigger fight for me at 147 down the line, I'd probably take it. But if I was Crawford, I have bigger fish to fry at the 154, division. And I stand to make more money. So if I was Terrence Crawford, I'll rematch Earl. I think that's a easier fight for him. Although I like the matchup at 154, if I was Terrence Crawford, I would take the rematch with him, and I would wait to see what Jermell Charlo is going to do. I think that's a more intriguing matchup. I think there's bad blood in that matchup. I think those guys really want to fight one another. So I would look to making that fight because I think it's a great fight. I think there's a lot of bad blood in this matchup, and I think that would sell it. I think the fight press conference to that would be amazing. I think Jermell would out-talk Terrence, and I think Terrence would, prove it in the ring. I think that would be a great matchup stylistically, accomplishments-wise, just based off their history. I would look to make that fight. And if, while I was taking care of that, if I was Terrence Crawford, Boots, took care of the division at 147, like, we think he can, I would make that maybe my third or my last fight. I seen where Terrence Crawford was saying he would like Jamal Charlo, he would like to tame all the lines, and he's tamed one. Be tough to tame the other two, but if anybody can do it, he can. I think Terrence Crawford has 4 fights maximum, and he's done. Maybe 3, but I'm going to say 4 fights maximum. So I think Terrence Crawford will be looking to get Errol Spence again, Jermell Charlo, and maybe a rematch with Jermell Charlo, or one of the, the other Charlo boys and Jamal, or he may go to Boots Ennis route, maybe for his third and final fight, maybe for his 4th fight. That's his decision. If I was Crawford, I would do what's best for me money-wise. My legacy is set. I will look on the face those guys that brought on the money. I'd be looking to make 25 to, whatever I can make, 25, 50, 100 million, whatever I can make to fight the biggest names out there outside of Canelo. I think the Canelo matchup would be intriguing for him, but I think Canelo's too big, too strong for Terrence to go up to 168. I think if Canelo was to concede and come down to maybe 160, they may have a fight. but I don't think Canelo can make 160 anymore. And I don't think he would risk his reputation of coming down those 8 pounds to fight Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford would fight him at 160, but no bigger than 160, and I think that would be a great fight. Maybe the best fight in boxing. I don't know. I think the best fight in boxing to be made by far right now after this fight is David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez. I believe Canelo is going to take the fight. Maybe not now, but maybe in a year or so. But he's being kind of a chicken shit about it. I believe he should have took that David Benavidez fight 3 years ago, and he would have beat him and beat him convincingly. But he's let David get a lot of confidence. David has gotten a lot better, and I do not believe Canelo can beat him right now. I believe if he was going to take that fight or supposed to take the fight, he should have took the fight earlier in David Benavidez's career, and he wouldn't have to go through this because he would have beat the man. I believe boxing, the best fighters should pick the right times to take the right fights, and I think a guy that's doing that is Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis knows he can get you early before you develop, and he can get that win under his belt. And I think guys should do that, but to certain fighters, it don't matter. Terrence Crawford is a guy, it just don't matter. He gonna beat your ass whenever. So I would love to see the Jamel and Terrence Crawford fight, but if we can't get that fight, let's get the Terrence Crawford versus Boots Ennis fight. Let's get that done. I've been on Twitter. I've been on Instagram, Facebook, and I've been seeing Thurman talking like a wrestler about what he's going to do. If I was Terrence Crawford, he has a name, but he brings nothing to the table. I wouldn't entertain him. And I believe in Terrence Crawford's eyes, he looks at him like he a chump. And if he don't want to be looked at like that, he should take the Boots Ennis fight. Maybe the Ugas fight as well while Terrence Crawford is busy. Beat those guys, and I believe he could get the fight with Terrence Crawford if he does that. But he's been inactive for years now. He's fought maybe one time in the last 3 years against the smaller Mario Barrios, and he beat him, but he couldn't stop the smaller guy, and the smaller guy worked hard and won a few rounds. I do not think Mario Barrios would have lasted 6 rounds with Boots Ennis. So I would like to see that fight and see how it plays out. And if they keep winning, like I say, if Boots keeps winning and builds his stock a lot higher over the next year, year and a half, I'm saying if I'm Boots, you need at least 2 or 3 fights. You could get the Crawford fight before he gets out the door. But if you wait 2-3 years, most likely Crawford will retire and you will never get that fight because Crawford does not need the fight. Crawford simply will fight to please the fans. And in that fight, I think Crawford would do what he does best. And I think he beats Boots now. I think he beats Boots in a year and a half. But I would love to see the fight. And I feel like all fans would love to see the fight. And it's pure speculation because Boots has the ability to beat Terrence Crawford. I'm not denying that. But I think Terrence Crawford is simply the best fighter of his generation. And the only guy on this run that I think can beat him, maybe Errol Spence, but I'm saying maybe. But I think Jamel stands a better chance than Boots and Errol. I believe Jamel's tenacity and his will to win can really help him in this fight with Terrence Crawford. I don't know how the game plan will go because I believe once Terrence Crawford hits him, his fucking game plan will go out the window, and he'll be fighting to get his lick back. So it just depends which Jamel we get. Are we gonna get calculated Jamel that works the body and the head, or we gonna get angry Jamel that goes in there and hunts for a TKO? Either way it go, I think it's a tremendous fight, another Vegas fight. And if Jamel beats Canelo, we have a big one. So we are, as purists, I'm rooting for Jamel to beat Canelo. I think it's going to be extremely hard. But the way boxing is set up, I would love to see two guys that naturally don't like each other fight. I like to see guys fight when they like each other, but naturally I want to see some animosity, some hatefulness. And I believe Jamel and Terrence Crawford gives us all that. And it would decide who is the best of their generation if Jamel could beat Canelo. And that's a big if, because that's going to be a tough ass fight for him. So I don't know, but we're going to stay tuned. And I'm hoping and wishing for the best for Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Boots Ennis, Jamel Charlo,